Hi, Forensic Psychology. I wanted to make a video just to show you where you can find the information that you need for your analysis this week, because it's probably not as complicated like to find the information as you're thinking. So I'd already made a video showing you how to find an article, so now I'm just showing you how to find what you need for our article review that's due this week. So first, what's this article addressing? You should be able to find that right in the title. And then I have another article up here, like here. It's better over here. Like regardless, it should be right in the title. How does this relate to your selected topic? That really, that's just a couple of words saying how it relates to your topic. Does it contain research? It really should. So the research should be found in the introduction. Here they should be talking about, all peer-reviewed articles, as long as I approved your article, they should all be the same, where they all have some introduction that contains research, heck yes. And then here, again, the introduction, that is what the introduction is. It's past research. This one's a lot shorter. And then what data was used, what instruments were used to collect the data. I have to say I have two different examples of this. And in this handwriting analysis one, sorry about that, I had to find it. This one is actually just about what has been done in the past. So there isn't any measures. And so, like, there's no instruments. So you could just say that this article is just reviewing past literature and there is not any measure. But if you have, like for most articles, you could just do a Control F for method. And if you do that, you'll see that one of the sections is materials and procedures. So here is what they did for strategy manipulation. Here's the fingerprint stimuli that they used. Here's prevalence manipulation. So that is, like, this is what they did. This is the measures that they used. Additional instructions explaining the ratings they would be asked to provide for each fingerprint pair. So this is your materials and procedure, which is what this is asking, what instruments were used to collect the data. And then for the conclusions, you can generally just go to like the last couple of lines in the abstract. And that's true in my handprint article too. Yeah, this is just the importance of considering security, health, and metadata. And remember, when you do include that information, just cite the article. And then what references, if it's a peer-reviewed article, then all of their references, you can see they used 109 references, and all of these should be peer-reviewed articles as well. And then in the other article, that would be the case too. That was the point of me approving your articles. This one has 56 references. So just say that they're all peer-reviewed sources. And then, was it reliable and valid? Yes. And then just explain here that because you used the Shapiro Library database and you found a peer-reviewed article, that yes, that because of that process, it is reliable and valid. Was it well written? Of course it should be. I think that these are kind of silly questions. If we use the peer review process, they have to be well written, thoughtful, and reflective. And then for limitations, you can literally just do a Control F, or you can go down, like usually the limitations would be one of the very last things, like our study did not recruit practicing examiners. I can already see it, but we should be able to do a Control F and just write in limitations. Oh, for that one we can't, but they should be in this discussion, and it should be towards the end. And I can just see, due to these weaknesses, so it's saying it may be unrealistic to attempt to ameliorate this effect. Or for the handwriting one, if we did a Control F and we looked for limitations, wow, this one doesn't have them either. Okay, most of the time it does. And usually it would be in one of the last paragraphs. And then feel free to just say it didn't have specific limitations if yours does not. I wish I had one that had limitations, because most of the time that's in one of the very last paragraphs. And most of the time, see how this says future trends? Your article should say limitations. Oh, here maybe, I mean, in the conclusion it says some challenges are identified, maybe. So that could be a limitation. But most of the time, I swear, if you do a Control F, you should be able to find a limitation, or feel free to say it didn't say specific limitations. And then what other thoughts or comments, that's really just your opinion. I like to say what advice I would give to somebody after reading this article. All right, reach out if you have any questions.